If I'm with them, on a good evening. I know say don't take small not to so last week we not be able to get an ayaso. But today we don't can ayaso back for can get up for can talk but waiting they happen now with Konski. And today we did part 3 of this series. Yeah, so we've been begin the Republic, of Sierra Leone. So we are saying what the public purse and the public goods. Today we are looking at the BO presidency versus the Auditor General. We can look at waiting we don't observe from the presidency towards the Auditor General and waiting at the Auditor General in stand as well. We want for yearly. Waiting at own take as observers, as outside observers. We also want for know una stand or una take about the mayor in audio. And please, when una they bring una own version, because I just want to say there are 2 sides to this audio. There is the leak. We get a leak audio where they edit. We edited, and then we get the full audio unedited. So it will be really good for make we look at from the standpoint from the unedited video. We go also look at this law, this new law where they try for pass, where they call the cyber law. What in that mean? Waiting at the implication for people and like we where they sit on so where they give we 2 cents. Waiting at the implication of for some of una where they call. We also they give una own 2 cents, but we not go waste time today. We get Mr. Arun Zubairu in the house. We get CEO in the house. We go join me shortly, but make Mr. Arun Zubairu say, tell family I do this evening.
Thank you so much, Miss Matilda. My family, my name is Arun Zubairu, a very patriotic Sierra Leonean. We ready for talk for the country and fight for the country. Actually, thank you for me. You allow me to come at this particular show today, and I will give me your opinion on them. So, thank you very much, Miss Matilda.
Indeed. So basically, me fumble them, and I know say we don't do a series now. We start off the series with the first interview with Mr. Cherno, Alpha Bar of the African Express, and then we go on we do an analysis, and then we go on for talk about some other thing them. And then we then at the part 3, even though when we start the series initially, I know we actually feel say it go turn into a series. But the way how things they go, when I look at the connectivity, when I look at how the thing they all join inside and they all day inside together, it was like a spaghetti bowl. So how do you tangle it? You have to leave it as the spaghetti bowl. So in the aim of leaving it as a spaghetti bowl, I decide for put a series and just start them as a series, because the series are not get for done just now. Get for take 10 because there's so much to unpack. But make we not waste time. Few weeks ago, this show also been on particular show also been for done we've been for done last week Friday, but it is never too late to talk about issues, because the issues they are ongoing, they are unfolding. So therefore at any point in time is the right time to talk about it, especially where it be for say current issues. So about 3 weeks ago, we see an intensification on the work pressure on the work of the Attorney General. We see how people from the administrative arms of government, they put undue pressure on the Attorney General. How this entire thing began, I will get to how it began. The Attorney General, as we know it from investigation, don't they get not the Attorney General, sorry, the Auditor General. Sorry, people, we are talking about the Auditor General here. The Auditor General, as we know it, don't they come under duress, don't they come under fire shortly after it published the 2018-2019 Auditor General's report. When he published the 2018-2019 Auditor General's report, he do the work according to the mandate where he gets. But then we notice say some people in the current administration, the legislative, administrative arm of government, not being agree for this report here, so they mean get boku question, then turn and so, make and so, do and so. So we also notice during the COVID term, where the Auditor General say he need for audit the COVID budget, the COVID spending, the COVID money, then we know say some boku draw in there, how we not supposed for audit time, how COVID still they go on, how this, that, we get a lot of excuses then. But he put him foot down and say, no, COVID don't they go on for so and so time to so and so time. The audits go cover from so and so time to so and so time. That way the next year, if COVID still they go on, we still can audit from Usai we left So that way to you know Usai a day. And he also gone for say the 2019-2020 audit report self care for Canada. Now when then 2 audit reports then they Canada, we notice say alagba take place. We notice boku things then. We notice a lot of discrepancy, a lot of mismanagement of fund, a lot of bloating of benefits. I mean, you know, if me they work, you know, I go omojuba to somebody where they go give me 400%, not to 1, not to 2, not to 10%, not to 20%, or up to 400% in certain instances of benefits raised. Been the insider report the way some man them benefits where they get administrators, not to the frontline workers demo, not to the doctors demo, not to the nurses demo, not to the cleaners demo. The one that we sit on our office, they type paper, blah, 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 tuk, na then computer. Some of them get 400% raise. Now, who's republic? Now, who's country? How can you even validate that? How can you even justify that? So we notice for say a lot of the money them, while the frontline workers were not being paid, a lot of that budget was being given as benefits, bonuses and benefits to the administrative arms of the COVID operation. Meanwhile, you see somebody like Vicky Raymond thinking that, you know, there wasn't any money in it, you know, inside the coffers of government for carry out certain basic necessities them in order for treat people them and give people them dignity of life. You know, launch an international appeal fund where people then donate to, where, you know, she worked, I mean, give credit where credit is due. She worked her tail off. You know, he worked in the end of it, he sweat really hard to do what she did, pull off what she pulled off. And the beauty about it all is that she was able to account for every single cent of the money. At no point did we hear for say or we see for say, oh, now follow they not follow the rules, not to for say they not use the money the way they're supposed to use them, but they not follow the legislative rules or the procedures through which they for use the money. She was able to account for every dollar donated. She was able to account for every dollar spent. That is what you call administration, proper administration of procedures. But in we own case, now the administrative arm of government, you repeatedly hear this excuse of, oh, not because they not apply, now the process nine they not follow. So what is the point of having a process if it's not going to be followed? And then we see this thing where a very heavy-handed scheme was launched in trying to, you know, backdoor or force the arm of, you know, the Auditor General for making resign a position. Why? Just because somebody somewhere wasn't happy with the outcome. Which outcome? An outcome that he design himself? No. An outcome based on wetin you give am, wetin you produce to am, wetin he audit and wetin he find out. Mr. Zubairu, make I left you, make you come inside of much small pandis even before we watch wetin, according to the Auditor General himself sef, from your mouth, wetin na im role.
Thank you very much. Let's begin talk with Lara Taylor Pierce. Lara and his Baikoma appointed him in 2011. Not only that, Lara Taylor talked to with waiting and his Baikoma do for the Ebola fund, and also when they get variance, and also when they overspend, also when they thief. Lara Taylor be able to tell waiting and his Baikoma they do. In Lara Taylor Pierce a report on Addis Baikoma, it said not only that, then they spend money, but then they overcharge the government. Some took off for cost 1 million, then they charge the government 10 millions. Now that Lara Taylor. We fumble them, Lara Taylor Pierce, now one of the most honest person, independent minded, and also take for Sylvia Blyden. Mr. Marabio go in jail for a law where it was abolished. But still puts the woman in jail. Let me take Akisoya. Not only they don't beat Akisoya 2 terms, but in administration, one of in minister them deliberately they feature and disrespect that woman did. But today they make an effort for tell us say in a tribalist. Now then they come to Lara Taylor Pierce for the same thing for that he design. What's in a Lara Taylor Pierce irresponsibility? Now for identify problem them and put some solutions in place. Not to prosecute anybody, but for advise the government. The responsibility for let anybody say let a design is absolutely wrong. And who are responsible for that? Who that they make this to happen? The president. If you hear people and they talk in the administration say this woman for resign and Madam not say anything, irresponsible. But it keep Francis Ben Kelfala in position. But as we go on, we will continue to talk about them things there. So for me,
okay, so in Lara Taylor Pierce, in case we don't see say she has professionally demonstrated the duty and dispensed the duty of her work with high class and high moral. And na then kind people and they we for be very grateful for get amongst with society, we even ready for work, you know, for we public service, you know, and make things them right. These are the type of people that, you know, are sourced all over the world and can go pay them big money them for work now other countries them, but for the mere fact that he choose say no, me expertise, you know, and they can show them and demonstrate them and put them into practice in my own country. I think that is something we should applaud. I go bring CEO inside, make it tell Fambul then I do, and also make a much small based on waiting you hear how Lara describe in work. You feel say na the exact way the thing they go na the country or not to that way they go na the country.
Thank you very much, Mr. and family on how they do. Well, first of all, not to the way that it's supposed to go, because stuff like this, the accountability, transparency and accountability now in every good government they run on. And also recommendations, the word they never put on there for nothing. When they say recommendation, they mean say they expect you, they recommend something say for do, so you're not going to repeat the same actions over and over and over. So I understand if the woman go through. But at the same time, Laura, we watch. I want to take an example of the just let my way die. So John Mugafield of Tanzania. Now, one thing you do, it change Tanzania in 6 years. One thing, corruption. Another book,
yeah,
only one thing tackle, just corruption. We tackle Tanzania move from a third world country to a second world country in 6 years. So I understand the challenges we face. And now look at the thing like why make plenty money? Even most of it overseas, some money quit in job inside 5 minutes and run for Bona Africa inside SALONE. What if you say they go there for? these people then there, because this mass or outside all this corruption, they know saying that in a pandemic in we cultures them, and they know saying the good enough of another thing for go and reach themselves and for go thief. So the Auditor General office now one of the gateway that way it try for stop we share the. They're not going for see and favorable, not to somebody going for see somebody way then go encourage at the office them. In fact, except to me, I feel one of the only, I don't say several times, the only offices where me feel say a more independent in terms of fighting corruption. And if we get a very good Auditor General's office now, we not need anti-corruption. If we give them a power for give them extra power, like we do in South Africa, I don't think so we will need anti-corruption much, because they know what's the problem there, and then they go to the office, and then they audit, and they know what's the loophole, and then they know who that follow recommendation or not follow recommendation. So Parliament, me feel say them for work with them more than even the ACC. But now that not going to happen, because from the Parliament to the executive to the judiciary, they're all corrupt. So this is now one of the main policies where they feel like gateway where they block them from for making not going to corruption. And so I feel say again for facing more problem. And what thing they happen to them? So not a thing where na isolated situation. We all know say the coming 2020 audit reports get for be very, very damning. It get for be very, very bad. So I feel that the strategy now for coming now want them and discredit them. So when the time come now we go put that report out and go talk say see we tell una say no mean straightforward in this. But I tell una from waiting some of the things that we don't hear behind the scene. You know, so the past first when they come 2018 first and see where that one in APC get half, SFP get half. This one last year or this way come on this year, I mean very, very bad. But to what we understand, say this way they come out, it ever be worse. So me not surprised for what they happen so right now, because this is what they get for doing, for to have a discredit and force. So when the reports come out and tell us, so we don't tell us say this one not reliable, this one get his fault. Because and by then you watch them, now close to election. So by the time the reports get for come to election, so this is our strategic move. So again, now we get for just like I say, we the people at the media get for make sure say we be more truthful to ourselves and truthful to the country, and make sure say we stand also we know say support the one that we will not say now the people and that will help for push SALONE forward. So we them people not go down there. Now we get for make sure say we continue for come out and pound this and counter attack for them, because they're not going to attack, they're not going to fight back. Because of them for be they want me to act professionally. So for they act professionally, something that we not do, you understand? So now we get for be the mouthpiece for come out and sensitize the people and tell them say now this is going on, now this is not for look for, now this is for happen, and with some time we for predict what we know say they happen. So what happen, we go sit down on top and tell and say that this will tell us say happen, because then say they do. Corruption ever fight back, ever for fight heavier than the way they fight. So but either way, I feel say we need for make sure to protect some. Not going nowhere.
Okay, Mr. Zubairu. So, Mr. Meg just talk just now say Parliament is corrupt. However, we see a recent report from the ACC where clearly say Parliament not corrupt, now procedures, processes, and they're not the follow. So, if I am to take the stance of the recent ACC report and say Parliament not corrupt, now procedures they no more, they not they follow, why make up until now the 2018-2019 Auditor General report not table na Parliament 8 within for a committee review, and waiting make right up until now the 2019-2020 report in self still not table na Parliament for the review, the committee review. Waiting you feel say they cause that? Stand the back na a process lapse or waiting?
That's all right. Thank you very much. CEO, welcome back, sir. Nice being with you at this forum again, or this panel. So let me think about this. Afrobarometer, when an independent surveyor go across the country just last year before the corona began, they go ask people, the ordinary people, and then they ask them, who are the corrupt people in the country? The first one, they say, that the policeman them. The second one, the Parliament. And the third one, that the office of the president. Let me think about this man when they call Francis Ben Kelfala. Like CEO say, corruption they fight with, and corruption they fight very hard. And we get the voice, we will get the guts for can talk, we go continue for talk, and we go fight hard. Francis Ben Kelfala, we fumble him. For the 3 years where he don't be SEC director, how much he don't collect for the people of Sierra Leone? Now 25 billion leones. Mrs. Madabio in wealth, Mr. Madabio in wealth, Fatima Bio, $15 million. We fumble them. Now 90 billion leones that one day. So Francis Belkalkwala only collects 25 billion leones, when Mrs. Madabio in 6 months thief 90 billion. Francis Belkalkwala had a tendency for slap the wrist on people who are within this administration. All the money they collect, majority of them are from the APC party or the people who are within the previous administration that they collect money. When they talk about parliament, let me talk about the people who are within the parliament in Gevao and Tawa. What did they? You know, this woman, my Angela, he said, when person tell you something the first time, believe him. Gevao and Tawa, they tell me say that are corrupt people. And Dr. Yom Keller said the same thing. He said that are corrupt people. And what will happen? What did Ben Kelfala they say? You know, I don't know if I've said this, but Ben Kelfala, if they talk like a primitive, or if they talk to people like we are primitive people. Let's take for example, the thief a generator where China give we a 50 kVA generator, they give we gowns them, they give we goggles, they give we nasal cannula, and let's see the the 50 kVA generator. They go show us the different generator that 60 kVA. We're not even good. When they ask Ben Kelfala, he said, now mistake the Chinese people, the mistake. When the Chinese people they say they stick on with it and they say, so we're not going to give any credence to Francis Ben Kelfala. On several occasions, Dr. Kanda Yokela, not because we're at SNGC, but we don't see over a time they say, now we go through this Auditor General report, make we see exactly who side this problem they go. The Speaker of the House refused for them to go through these auditor reports the way they go. Just in 2018 to 2019, Mrs. Lara Taylor Pierce, this honest woman, this independent-minded woman, this woman will live in country. He said, Mr. Madabio administration team, 144 billion leones. That was 2018 to 2019. And 2019 to 2020, Lara Taylor Pierce come back and tell me, say, Mr. Madabio and the administration, they took 177 billion leones. Not only that, this woman come back and say, they're giving money for Corona. Mr. Madabio and the administration team, 92 billion leones. The frontline worker did not get the money. The doctors did not get the money for 12 weeks. And then concoct, they fabricate numbers them, they employ people there, we know they go work. And the parliament cannot say any word. Like the people that say that one of the most corrupt institutions, it is true. Thank you very much, man.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Med, wetin go make you go on for come after the Auditor General? Wait for him in work really now for look at the evidence. Waiting you present to them, waiting he find out from your books according to you your record keeping. Now in the report on, in order fabricate story, in order idea put here, but now exactly waiting you put na your book and waiting you been done right. Now they look at what was procured originally and what was registered in the book. He reconciled the two and see if there is a variance. And then they in the report back. What thing go make somebody go on for say there is a fabrication and there is erroneous ways, wrong ways of doing things. And this na usaya they go. I want go to the generator business and I want go to the laptop business. Now the procurement book, then say now this na the almost laptop where them procure. This na the mark of the laptop where them they procure. This are the serial numbers them of the laptops them where them they procure. He write along, he look, he see say waiting in see and waiting they write in a paper na two different things. He report them. He can to the generator. Inside paper sign, the label and everything else, the documentation say 50 kVA generator. He go look. Where he look not a 50 kVA generator right there. He get for follow the books. He see 65 kVA generator. So therefore, by conclusion, he said the generator they're not there. By conclusion, he also said the laptop they're not there. Waiting for make if somebody they follow the due process of in duties, waiting for make somebody else turn around and say, well, now the methodology where you use, the approach where you use now indifferent from we your approach. We your approach where we look at this way so we realize that there was an error in the column in the validation, yes, in the validation of the items, even though this was given an erroneous mistake was made in writing it down. Waiting for make you judge the person for doing her work correctly and then turn around and say, oh, you been for don't look for them discrepancies and variants there so and then reconcile the book. When that is not what the rules say. I want to make you talk about that.
Well, I dey laugh because we get for know so we come out, we never know people they deal with, we get for know what's in happen. When you put them three things together, you will get the conclusion exactly what was the study go. Outside the boku chap in there, a procurement and the boku chap in stay. The prices, okay. Man the can price computer what they buy now maybe 500. Man the price are 700 to 800 or up to 1,000. So that extra money, as long as you don't get that price in that book, we buy out then illegal because now that not the pricing. So you get to know how the game they play. If you know how the game they play, now so you take them. Now, let we look at the generator in your side or the computer. Let's take that generator for an example. We then donate the generator to we get 1 kVA, but what's in that documentation get a different kVA. Okay, this is simple. The person will sign a document. First of all, before you sign every document, you're supposed to read the document. Read the document and know what's in that document before you sign them. So whoever signed that document, they're legally responsible for what's in on the document. So if you go sign
you're supposed to examine the item. You cannot append your signature on something without examining the item.
That's the point. You see what I'm saying? So if you possibly go sign the document, it signs something different from the generator you receive. Then the question is, if somebody can cut off not a generator, is what's in the paper, now we go by. Or you don't tip the generator, you don't count other generator. I can accuse of anything, anywhere. So that problem did not fall on the person who do the audit. It fall on the person who sign the document, and the person who take the wrong item for the wrong documentation. This is not one thing. Now we look at other areas as well. Now, if 10 people are the audit an ordinary generator, then go to this point where put him now then tell nobody to pay attention to self. Now if I not say not to think anything, but if they go to that small bits there, that nitty gritty stuff, they go pick them up. Do you know how much stuff they're gonna pick up right now? So this not a fair with somebody where right now where you know say a hand not clean. I'm afraid now because if this woman if they will pick up their laptop here, then small laptop here, they will pick up the generator. for no just the what on that generator. This don't show say they do a thorough auditing. They don't dig so much that they don't go to. So which means now we need to begin watch tobacco. There's something but putting away from we don't careless on or some side we don't open they go thief visit and they will cover then uncover beyond what they think about. This is for being a problem. Then now if you can add that now to everything the woman say, then that the African president begin to release documents in a way it also coincides with the woman don't begin to say. Now put 10 here together and watch nothing they come up. And now we know let we not play to safe. Social media right now is the bomb. Anybody can tell you the social media lie in a lie. No government right now in SALONE we know the free social media. Okay.
They bring stuff along.
Right.
I did tell you, all them theory they come out, this social media pick them up. They know under heavy pressure. Because at this point, they don't know how to counter social media. Because the point is, you're not able to control me onto for the longest in SALONE, governments may control with radio and TV stations then. But in we now they we don't the different territory in our side, they don't control the news anymore. Now we they control the news. So then they're on the defense. So at this point right now fight the one fight back quick for sending my boy enough for kind of social media they discredit and this and that, but she not get for work because at the end of the day, then say look enough for look bad. This is not simple thing. Okay, the Auditor General then document they not to go manufacture. Now the office you can take her. Now I pull the document and gear them. They just all you get for to get the document, you watch them there, Italian to wait till you gear them. This is not simple process if you clean. And it's we get a problem here because something not the way clean. Because like we say, Procurement they go to government right now, into government because they know say that word we don't use mass. They'll say mass they come out and this is not a chain work. This now is deep chain work between people and we all look up to right now, facing people that can save we now. So like what they say, the parliament itself know what they do. Parliament says the women say parliament know in a way election don't come. After election, na man butuma watching say the parliament right now. This now a society inside parliament. Now a society inside government. Now a society inside civil societies. So these are all they all work together. We see Sana young business. What they come? Now turn on now. So then we'll come back later. Like what we say. Lala peers, like I say, right now the what thing the government do right now. Anytime where you go after somebody where they feel say they do the job, what they tell you say you not spy the other government with all left there. Now the first thing they can tell you, then they left spy at the office for can't talk about it. Mom, if they do nothing wrong, what are you about spy for? Why spy for be important to you if you do the right thing? Not the person the progress they spy they come in and put out, they made them show how credible you be. So I go to challenge you, bring them out and put anything. I go to challenge anytime you put them out there. But if you're scared, see people not spy among you because they do the right thing. So at the end of the day, I believe now we go back and ask ourselves several important questions. Then, let people how they vote in. Again, I don't see Mr. Zubair, we don't get this argument. Want to be saying people that maybe they blame the average SALONE because these are choices that they make. These are people that more they put in to power because of now we neighborhood, now man in our neighborhood, when they go hamburgers or go 10,000 or 20,000, or now possibly go to the same school, or now we find we all get the same last name, or we talk the same tribe, we put in there without merit. Now they represent we so. This is now a complete reflection of representation of parliament. So before we go implement anybody, let me ask yourself, what thing are the process that we need for put in place for make sure so we get the right people in the right place? Until we get the right people in there. Because all the people we all are the same, or we all there in the street. As soon as they enter inside the parliament, they don't different, not to the same again. The only time they know you, now we election time come. That's it. They all have to go for go and reach themselves. Like somebody said recently, he said if you want rich, do business. If you want serve for serve people, you know they make money na politics. If you want to make money, go into business. But if you go into politics, you say you want to make money, that's not corruption. And there's no way around. They go for because even your salary, the president of America, they make for 400,000 a year. So how much the president has alone for make? If when I third world country, the economy they are 50 times lower than America, where America the president make 400,000. What do we want for make? Then get my go on social media saying $1,000 the government, the president make a month. I mean, even the Christmas and not believe that. So why am I gonna put the salary out? They're not gonna put them. Then continue everything you want today. Any senator in salary you want today, just Google your name and Google how much in net worth. It'll come up. Google the president of America and salary, it'll come up.
And now that make now because of all that make we no one computerize with systems them. Because if we computerize with systems them, guess what? The soft evidence is there, cloud backup is there. You know, you get hard copy, but the soft copy is there, it's backed up in the cloud somewhere. You have the facts. But anyway, we go reach there. I just want to take a minute to make a read the mandate and framework of the office, the Auditor General, as we know it, you know, the Auditor Service Sierra Leone, right? Office of the Auditor General. I want to read the framework. It says our mandate. As the supreme audit institution for Sierra Leone, the Audit Service Sierra Leone promotes accountability. I want to make the panelists they write then some of them keywords they are so dumb because we need for can discuss them keywords there. Promote accountability and good governance. The Auditor General is mandated to carry out audits on the economy, efficiency and effectiveness of which the audited government entity use their resources in carrying out their responsibilities. I want to read that sentence there again for make una get them right, because that particular sentence is the thrust, now the anchor of the Auditor General in work. It said the Auditor General is mandated to carry out audits on the economy, efficiency and effectiveness with which the audited government entities use their resources in carrying out their responsibilities. The Auditor General is the independent auditor reporting to Parliament. Section 119 of the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone empowers the Auditor General to audit. Now, I want to make una keep una yes them really clean. For them one them where they tell the woman say you not get right for auditor or for audit the office of the First Lady. And because una they talk say you not get the right for audit the office of the First Lady because the office of the First Lady is not part of government, it's not a legislated office. Una pay attention, because this one also go make una understand why it is within a right. It is actually part of a mandate, a duty to audit that office. Let us go. I take it back from the top. Section 119 of the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone empowers the Auditor General to audit the public account of Sierra Leone and of all public offices, including the courts, the central and local government administrations, the universities, the public institutions, together with statutory corporations, companies, bodies or organizations set up partly or wholly out of public funds. When I read that last statement, that last now a very key word than the it say organizations set up partly or wholly out of public funds. What do you mean? How the office of the First Lady set up? Now, whose funds they run the office of the First Lady, as we have come to know. So now you tell me why that office should not be audited. Let me go back to that sentence for you. Should, in case you did not hear it, let me reread it for you. Section 119 of the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone empowers the Auditor General to audit the public account of Sierra Leone and of all public offices, including the courts, the central and local government administrations, the universities, and public institutions, together with statutory corporations, companies, bodies, or organizations set up partly or wholly out of public funds. Legal and regulatory framework. So So the legal and regulatory framework under which the Auditor General they work by is Audit Service Sierra Leone's mandate is covered by the national legal and regulatory framework, which includes the 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone, the Audit Service Act of 2014, Audit Service Act of 1998, Financial Administration Regulation of 1998, Public Budgetary and Accountability Act of 1998, replaced Government Budgeting and Accountability Act of 2005, Finance Management Regulations of 2017, Auditing Standards including the international auditing standards. So you now see the framework, all the thing them, the guidelines them and the books them and the regulations them where they need for go through in order for effect their job properly. Not a one grain book no more they guide them, not a one grain legislation or principle no more they guide them. Then get for look into all of them things so and make sure say waiting then the pool can do it abide by all of them rules then so. So how come one kind man we sit on at ACC they can't tell we something like for saying I sabi all of the laws of the books and all of the laws of the land without actually going into these legislations and going into this act and seeing what directives under which the Auditor General is acting behoves me. I saw you from a big English this evening.
You know, could we apprentice a lot of no.
It behoves me. Yes. So I want me to go to you know, Mr. Aaron. After you don't read this, because sometimes there will people them can they argue something, but under waiting and they argue, and then self no. And when we can sit down here, so they take another side. Under waiting, we they argue, they not can understand. Now that makes sometimes some people can say, Matilda, you can read too much. No. I read so that I educate, so that I show you the book, so that I show you what is prescribed and written in black and white. I'll go left hand to you.
Thank you very much. You know what in like tell we? It tell we say based on a report them every year, we they see that the thief more than the previous year. But waiting with me able to identify now one of the most careless thief man them we can ever find in the world. Madabiri administration, they're the thief, but they're easy for catch. And the reason why, then they go thief the money, they don't make any basis, they just say left for no more. Nobody know the check them. Because that's if you don't begin. Now that will be the status quo. This is what they were doing all through this time. But what to make we get the Auditor General or the Audit Service that's alone. So remember, I do to Pashaki, to Momo, to other people there, there be so much corruption we don't make it affects the people that we were broke. So one of the things we will say, you know, when I put the audit service in 1991, they put up what's in the what we do. They want make we able all accountable to people them what they deal with money them. So when we get money from the international world, because of that we depend. Now we talk about the number them. 60% of what we get now we country. Now IMF and other country them that then give me money for free. The second 20%. Now next we go lend money. Only 15 to 20%. Now they get from taxes that we country. So remember, now give them money for now we survive. When Tanzania began at the same position 10 years ago as Sierra Leone. When today they don't left it by far. They go for all the people accountable. This is the obligation is mandated by this constitution in 1991 that Auditor General for give a clear, concise information on how they spend with money. This is constitutional. And also for see what they affect we economy. Now they declare a local for advice we country. He advised Ernest Bai Koroma 923 times. Again, Ernest Bai Koroma just take to task for only 300. This is how we country don't fail under these people. And also the effectiveness of the people under this money. But they give them money, gonna take $3 million. Wanna say for rates and cash them. What the motor car, what the receipts will not get? For what purpose? When I will tell me. Inept.
Okay, Mr. Zubairu don't phrase a little bit. I don't know what's in the happen to a network. Something is going on with his network. It don't cut out a bit, so I go to CEO. CEO, make I go to you with the, okay, Mr. Zubairu, you don't come back in. You want to continue your thoughts before we proceed?
Yeah, that's what I'm so sorry about. I don't know what's in the happen here. So, so what's in matter build and the intent for do. Now I can tell you that say then get buzzword the way they keep always the talk. When they want to come, then now they keep the talk what they would feel say we're not smart. So which is the time for use? Then they use this word, like that put the word there, so sorry. But anyway, then they talk something word there for all the women accountable. Say this woman forensic. They say not a forensic investigation it do, not a forensic audit it do. What they really know say this woman not for do a forensic audit in that regard. What does that mean? It means when you want to do a forensic audit, you can forget all the things that way depend on that. For example, if there's a massive money will loss to a point that it affects the country directly, then you need a forensic. It takes a lot of money. Laratelo not gets the money, it not get the technical know how to do it. It can employ other people across the world for let that happen. So that they use that what they have so for all the women accountants will say it can for do a forensic investigation or auditing. No, that's not in the constitution say. The constitution say it can for do a technical. When I do woman you do, when it do it reports to parliament. And they're not do until the name for we country. But anyway, no continue for talk. I'll lose my train of thought now, so because this thing froze on me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, I want to go na this party as CEO. According to waiting I don't read, we don't clearly see the roles, duties, and responsibility of the service, the audit service Sierra Leone. Now there's this argument where say the Auditor General not conduct a forensic audit. But the Auditor General in mandate now for conduct a technical audit, because Sierra Leone not get the capacity, neither the capability for conduct forensic audit. For conduct a forensic audit now a specialized trained individuals then. Forensic auditors go like then nose dive. These people are so trained that when they are coming into your place, I don't they part of institutions then we don't go through forensic audit. Then they give you 2 weeks notice in advance, say they are coming to do an audit. When they don't give you that 2 weeks, they mean say in that 2 weeks, they better make sure you clean up your book, make sure all of them paper the way you been they save now your desktop. Make sure say you save and the proper saving channels them, now the proper use the proper saving conventions or methods them for save your documents them and whatnot. Because when they come, they take over your machine, they take over your system because they know what they are looking for. They don't bring you in, they are not talking to you. You are not even part of that process. They take over your entire system. They are there sometimes for a week, sometimes they are there for a month, sometimes they are there for a few weeks, sometimes they are there for a few days. They are so technically skilled that they have their methodologies, they have their way of looking into things quick. They don't dig for see waiting and they camp, waiting and they look for. And these people are highly paid.
Yes.
Because of the expertise and because of the kind of work way then they do. SALONE, if we want for conduct a forensic audit, make them just ready no more forget the country in 2021 budget away. If that is what they are asking for. So me, they ask you right now, in them request, no, actually they are not requesting, in them putting forward this argument of not do forensic audit, una capacitate the person or the office for do a forensic audit? Do you have the money and the budget to conduct a forensic audit? Or should you stick with the precepts of the law and make corrections where applicable instead of you to look for excuses?
I think so. The labor we save too much. All right. Then audit report. I mean, audit office not they ever come and start with forensic audit. Then they start first with normal auditing. Now, when you know comply to the stuff, then no see the corruption book. Who then go into the forensic. Because about forensic, they talk about scientific. This is a different level. Then they go into a different, like what we say, cleaning. So the point is, again, like I said, the labor we save too much because most of them here, law just put into common sense or perspective now. Okay, now we say they do forensic audits, they find something. What thing ever happen? Do we ask yourself what thing ever happen?
Exactly.
Now they find an audit, they find somebody say office corrupt. So what next? Then we go back. The woman don't do audits for the past, 4 years. Go then get parliament get her. What in parliament do with her? Tell to this, they never give you 3 years young. So when I need forensic audit for the I'm not gonna forget her. The thing for just on the social media and for just the until talk on social media till go away. So what's not the point? This is never talk so with the labor we save on something where we don't say anything for labor we save.
No, but you know what I mean? We need to educate the ordinary Sierra Leonean, because when you start using buzzword as she did not conduct a forensic audit to the ordinary Sierra Leonean, they try for build that mindset like for say forensic audit, nine at the end all and be not that nine at the end all and be all, but nine at the thing where the woman supposed for don't do, instead it go do other thing. So because you know do that forensic audit in the when nine at the thing where is supposed for don't do, now that make it defending results they are so another make it a give them kind of reports they are so. But we as the middle belt, because we are the middle belt, the onus is upon us to educate the population, for tell the population say no, the woman in limitation now technical audit, forensic audit, this now waiting it mean forensic audit, it means say like we then don't anyampilize for the past 3 years now. In the next 5 years, if you continue for anyampilize to the point where the country not get money again, the country there in a brink of collapse, just like when Zimbabwe been there in a brink of collapse, then you need for bring forensic auditors then for find out what happened to the country in money.
Yeah, like what they say, the point is we labor more on the disease instead of the cause of the disease. I think then we problem na SALONE. We always worry about, we always react, we not preempt. We look at waiting, we look at the sickness, but don't ever look at waiting to cause the sickness. For let you able to cure that sickness or stop that sickness from spread, you get for noting the cause and then prevent them from making it happen. We preventive now parliament are preventive. Until we get a better and robust parliament, where it makes sure that now, if we get to more like Tawad and kind, half of the parliament get the Tawad and kind mind or the way they behave, then we not say we go towards cure or they go towards prevention. Okay, most of them people at the system they allow me the disease take over first or begin to now say now this and that is go on. The point now is that until we get a parliament where go make sure say anything they report here come and stand on them, because the woman in job ain't just a good reports. You never for anything beyond that. Now parliament have to take the stand and make sure the recommendation inside the book it puts, then people have to follow them. If not follow the recommendation, the question is what in parliament get for do next? We don't know, because we get a parliament where now important parliament, it's not a function. The parliament then says not even know they don't even know what to do. The parliament is the parliamentarian the way they kill somebody na McKinney, then say go McKinney life matter. Now we for that share the order them for where. Now we for where go meet them by order them for whatever they protest to. Now we for go protest to now they want to take action for we. But now we not go put to share the protest. So we not the protest to that don't tell the parliament just they not even get no clue what they do, they don't even know their function. So the point that I talk say for me then tear solve, we get for go back and make sure say we look for people and what we know say, then get the interest of the country. They're not the good for go to on business. Because that woman would do all the next tell the world done. If nobody not act on anything in day, you know what to say. Even the ACC they talk about, so yes, ACC back then they get their own good and bad side. But then Senegal will do all the things as SALONE. Then second for neither auxiliary. ACC even step out of bound. Uda will bring them. Uda will tell them say, hey, you don't step out. It's parliament.
Exactly.
If the executive step out of bound. Uda will tell executive they don't step out of bound. Now parliament. So the function of parliament get a very very big. But guess what? We on parliament and then they go back to the executive. But then they go kiss the executive in behind. Instead they can't kiss them. Inside America, now we don't talk in time. That's the policy. Now it stop so many things. Because of instability na the house. It hold up so many things. Now that's we need in a parliament. But from day one, where they go put Abbas Bundu. Now then we disease begin grow. Okay, they kind of hand points Benkaifala. So where you some then strategic points here when they do and where they come up and say, hey, something wrong now. Some people then say we now want into politics. But if they see and fast say something for calm. Because that's no matter what you say now, Benkaifala not to all my able investigate. Not to all my hand the reach. The boss said that in your board. Okay. And the same thing back to Abbas Bundu. Abbas Bundu na possibly get a position, not to all my go after. Because you get there's a limitation. So the same thing with Pierce. What Pierce in your job is that get this stuff and hand them to Parliament. Parliament now get the rest of the work. So when they look at the executive right now, not to worry about the executive, not to worry about the judiciary, not to worry about ACC. The main problem is focus on Parliament. Until we stand and make sure so we parliamentarian and them, we even sack most of them. We election can we kick most of them out and look for more people who know say them competent. This is not the solve. So until we solve a parliament, but next year because this is going to continue for happen until we make sure so we get people in the way they go there, they're not going for money, they're going for the love of SALONE. Tawa now part of this government. What in Tawa they say? But even the opposition, plenty of the opposition, no they say. That don't tell you what's going on. Okay. Again, parliament is corrupt, now impotent, they're not serving them function. So la pièce in job not will ever happen, not ever work better. Until you get that support from the parliament for say, we come with the recommendation, we don't do the recommendation. This and this we need for levy on them. This and this we need for do. And until that happen, there's no solution yet.
Okay, until that happen, there's no solution yet. Nadandi na see you in take. I go open the phone lines. Phone lines are open. So the phone lines are open. Let's roll. So I will take the first call. Caller waiting your name and also the call from. Hello, caller. Yeah, the adult you said to say the listing from so that the people can go able to hear you.
Yeah, and I'm in Barry. I'm calling from New York.
Okay, go ahead, Barry. Waiting you get for receiving.
This question is for Mr. Zubairu. Just as Mr. Med said, we as Sierra Leoneans, we need to be truthful to ourselves and to our nation. We really need to vet our leaders well before we elect them. We're not for busy they oppose for sake. Now the question, Mr. Zubairu, what do you think about Mr. KKY's last interview on 98.1 when he said he did not know that he has to retire the money that was given to him? This is a guy who has led an international organization. You want to tell me you don't know for the time on where they get to him? I mean, it's not like I'm against him. I was supporting him, and I think I support him, but it disappoints us. Like, for an example, we think Tawa Conte they do right now, right? KKY did it. KKY not go tell we say he don't know what they go on within that parliament. He know everything, all the kuku they go on, you know. But why this small boy are going to go north side, where he go up and work, learn and educate himself na Sierra Leone and happen for lucky, for work at different institutions there. Say kind of parliament. Now in the league with the bad behavior where they go on a parliament, where we don't lead international organization. He wants to tell me, you know, the TDC here. This I say this because we we the Sierra Leoneans, until we be truthful to ourselves, we don't be able to move forward. We dey support somebody because we support them. No, if the man they do right, they will call them out. You know, for them at this now, like we say, if you don't so, you dey support that man, they still with this bad behavior. That's all I have to say. Let's learn to be truthful to ourselves. That's all. Until then, we're moving nowhere.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much, caller. I go make Mr. Zubairu answer that question there shortly. But before he answer that question there, I want for wrap up for move on to another topic. We instilled inside this topic. I will continue for take calls them. Caller, waiting on your name and also you the call from, please.
Hello?
Yes, caller, waiting on your name and also you the call from.
This is a concern number 11 from Toronto.
Okay, concern number 11, go on.
Like what me they try for say, like according to what Taiwo been they say, it makes sense. But me not feel say that Parliament self get the problem. Me feel say that the Constitution. Because the way they designer, you know they vote against you party. I like them count any kind of building. If you're not APC, you know they will vote against her. If you're not SLPP, you know they will vote against her. Because you vote against her, then they will kick you out from the party. And if they kick you out from the party, you know they will represent as a parliamentarian again. So me just feel say that the Constitution now in the need for
concern number 11.
structure.
Concern number 11, make a pause your time 1 minute. Is there a thing called an independence in Parliament? Do we have independence in Parliament?
Yeah, you know, but kuna few.
Okay, so
Few people
the
left.
premise, so I just want to point your attention to that for make I tell you, say that premise under which you say, if they kick you in a parliament, you're not going to represent your people, then you can run as an independent. You don't necessarily have to run under a political party ticket. So go on with your state, your
Okay,
submission.
like a few independents, then they not get power. If you check the majority, it's APC and SLPP. So it's very, very difficult for even the parliamentarian and the self-safe, even that Tawa in fact and that other guy. They even try for kick Tawa, Lima, force. Now in try, but they're not able for kick out. But if you want to say independent, it act for you win. Because then party there, then two allejo there, then get money, then they able sponsor people them, they able win any side. So not just that in a million take.
Okay, thank you very much, concern 11. I hope so when they jot the points then down with the caller then they make, so that when we come back for discuss, when I go able to address some of them concerns then. I will go to the next caller waiting at your name and also you the call from.
Yes, good evening, Ms. Matilda, Mr. Zubairu.
Good evening.
CEO, this is Nadendo from Kansas City.
Okay, you don't come back. Now then the first question where I want to ask, if you don't come back.
No, I'm not come back yet. I get small issues with passports. They get a lot of protocol, but maybe that could be another thing. But
okay.
Now they get yes.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know yet, but it in the pipeline. It will happen soon.
Okay.
But
okay.
Within our goal tonight here is, again, Miss Laura Pierce, I admire them and I really admire and encourage, because through the previous government and this present government, again, kudos for the fact that she's still standing. Because if you get a job, you do a job, you do them day in, day out, and you get the same sales result. How it is able for only 8 FTD for another job, I not able to imagine. But needless to say, one thing where I still say we don't miss the point from the beginning. What the president say is they can't face corruption. I don't think so. We have that. How will they get a move? Because if you outline some of them things they are saying, that this way is there for better. I go for cleaning the parliament. I go for do this. Because look, not forget, so that the same president, this way they talk say, if you spend money, you know, give account of how they spend the money. You remember? Now we don't get the Africanist press to say something. Now we don't get all other people that they say some things, why they say some things. So here the corruption is on the and then no. Before then people here go into this occupy this space, then we don't know say this problem is. But what they do for fix the problem? Nothing. So they intend to do exactly what they plan to do. Yes. So I not believe say 2021 we see the talk about corruption. We dey talk about forensic audit. Where they no say we not even we not even there at that level. If the bonga auditor they do, they depend all the way on the appropriate funds them. So for no go back to do forensic, exactly the same thing. For goodness sake, we all just accept say this 5 years is dead and gone. That's not for happy. So now we begin plan say how will they prepare themselves for the next election. Now they need it. Fortunately.
Okay. Okay, so the caller in don't even you don't even forget about what they happen now. you don't project in mind to 2023.
No, don't from the local airport. Who is next? This now for the thing, not to this wire, because all the people that are get all the terminology, all the legal jargon for tell me what thing they do be correct. I mean, Mr. Benjamin, they tell me say if you go for audit, if you go for deal with the first lady, you go for 14 years. What if 14 years go for now? What are we doing now? Now. If we not fix now, 14 years the damage don't go. So it will not fix now. So within, I mean, to be honest, we don't move past 5 years. We say now that the next 5 years when the ever come. So the only advice we will be right now, we need a more unification.
Okay. So the caller, thank you very much, caller. The caller don't close the curtain on this 5 years. They open, the door to the coming 5 years, and they say it need mogo fully what mogo fully fication. Yes, mogofullification. So mogolize. Yes, he say he wants to make we begin think about the mogolisms. Okay, mogolism. Make I go to the next caller. Caller, what's in your name and who say they call from?
Okay, this now Mustafa. This now Mustafa. They call from France.
Yes, go ahead, Mustafa.
I tell you, thank you for the good work now they do, and I sorry for now actually. Now they suffer because the pain where they go now, where they happen in our country, they affect we all. It look like say they affect our past research because every time when they take on our own precious time them for come educate we. But say no go faster. This parliament, I don't know what to expect from this parliament. When the parliament itself corrupt, I don't even know why they really suffer for the consider say we even get parliament where they exist. Because you watch the setting of the parliament to everything from the beginning, you never for expect nothing again. Usa then can they impose speaker, then go there root other people and then put other people in. So not for even they consider say we get parliament. We get people away sit down where they help for corrupt because they not get no role for play for develop the country. From when this government can have power, then just they modify, they modernize corruption, they give a different name. Now this would they talk for the Auditor General, very strong woman, fine woman, and we really they pray God, let God give them type woman and they because since una the woman they say we forgive una chance, but the one way they right now for be an example. I believe say the Auditor General now one good example. But you watch the Auditor General, they're doing work very, very well. Then they fit for embarrass and fit for do everything. This government will come in the platform say then they can fight corruption. We not even need forensic audit. Let them just use Chernobyl audit way don't do first. So then they at least we don't go certain step. But then just they talk because they not get shame. We get big man, they will not get shame. Sorry for this word why they use but they not get shame. Shame not there at all. People in the back where they come and defend them people there for all waiting they do. The way they suffer more safe. Because like, for example, we were the talk show. If not to love all that thing, we no need for the talk safe. Because at least we able to manage. But that blood we don't inside we that flag, that green, white, and blue, you need able to set in what. Look me in the country where they right now, they don't after two. But just for a program, I not sleep. You see? Because of the passion we get for our country. So now God go pay una for the work una they do, and the good thing they una they fet for let it bring out whether because now good thing I go say when the government they fet for IDAM, una they bring am they be good for we because we they know. But still SALONE they need land. They need land where election don't begin register, then begin give them one bag rest, they see. Anyway, let God bless you. Yeah, right.
Thank you very much, Kola. And yeah, we do this for love of country. I always say this. We all have families here. We all have spouses. Some of us have children, but for us, we'll take that 2 hours, sometimes 2 hours, 30 minutes. They deliberate on issues them where they affect we people them and where they affect we self. It's for love of country, and we have pledged to do this, and we will not relent. I go to the next caller. Caller, waiting on your name and who say they call from. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yes, caller, waiting on your name and who say they call from.
I'm Abdul Sise.
Do you beg speak up a little bit? We not hear you. You're a bit muffled.
Okay. My name Abdul Sise. I call from UK. You get
Okay,
me now?
Abdul, go on. Yes, go on.
Yeah. Before I go ahead, I tell you thank you for the good job that you do. Because then here now somebody make in country not to say that talk on able because at the campaign when I save the field on under the country go before. But the way things they go, now I can tell people that prayer not the part of development. If you want the people that want to know for that. Like what they happen in our country, what to make force failure, the way the political party then they choose the leader and the force failure than if we were able to look at them, for that they able to adjust how then they choose the leader them. Even this part of the world, then they check you, they parent them. What they don't do in the country, what they yourself don't do, they go make or produce good leader. But if not that way, then they go then see somebody get money, then for able to now for president. I'm afraid we'll keep for talk history in our country. The other thing that they talk about parliament, we don't see leadership. Now, if we get God in mind and believe in love for a country, if see here that they will rule country, but not get a leader it's in our country. The leader they we choose, now we choose them for ourselves, now mislead them. Like now that caller will be called that woman. This 5 years, don't forget about her. We woman get belly. We don't miscarry accent for how many months. You don't make fool of yourself. Until the draw strive for do now is for educate to people, how them for choose people for the government. Because if we not do that, the material, trust me, if they talk, they will die in the same story. Again, me, I don't get big experience. All the two political parties, the people and Didi, I don't grow for each them from day one. You know, any country born, go to that street, you see the other person picking, you suffer, you get all Didi, like go there, working go, I don't be in your see other picking, so they can bleed. Now they talk for saying picking and can't study now. Why is the other picking and they maybe they keep it pass me picking them? You see, prayer not go for solve the problem. It can be problem. If I tell you now, as now they talk to you, even the European Union, the representative na SALONE, they give money. I read the statement we give. So they can be the problem, yeah. Even the party, maybe the deputy Minister of Education, left the other one. I don't call him. Now the Justice Department, that's SALONE. So I know that and be so better not for the other. The only two girls do now, do educate to people. Yeah, don't God bless you and I know more deep and trouble. Okay,
Thank you very much, caller. That is very telling. A very telling way somebody they call and know people them within the government and they say, if not them people they have so no more we get. More left and so no more now, more they go before. That is very telling. They say we are in serious doodles, meaning we are in serious problem. I want to move on to another topic and then we'll come back and close this topic. Caller, on a hold up the line. I will come back to the calls maybe in another 10 minutes.
Respond on the kind of young killer.
Yes, you can respond. I want to make you respond towards the end just because of time. Hold your thought. Trust me, you'll you'll have your time to respond to that caller. Just hold your thought. I want to go to something will happen where we they talk about. I don't want to touch on too much. Then at the cyber law. I want to move on to the cyber law talk here. So make I know what the panelists feel about the cyber law. And the reason why they do that now for make I give callers the opportunities them for address multiple issues them even as then they talk. Waiting on I feel about the cyber law. And the reason why make I don't want to go too deep into the cyber law, spoilers alert. I already say the Minister of Information and Communication get for data the platform. I believe this coming Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So this coming Sunday, I invite you all for tuning to VOS Sierra Leone. I believe Issues Review is the title of the show. Yes, Sierra Leone. Yeah, Social Media Review is the title of the show with Miss Fadima Savage. And with we are able attorney at law, Mr. Mohammed Shilon. So this Sunday, the minister go there and una go get chance for WAPAM and WAMAM with all una questions then. So now that make no one delve too much into that topic there, but however, I want for make we touch Rob Motpan and small na this platform. Mr. Zubairu, waiting na you take on this proposition or proposal of a cyber law. How it will impact people then like we and even people them on the ground waking report or signal things them where they go on.
Thank you very much. The cyber law. Now, a law where is necessary to a certain point. But Ms. Matilda, I hope so you will invite me where we go in depth about this law and how it will affect people like me and you.
I promise I will do that. And the reason why I'm holding off and not delving in depthly, I want for you waiting the minister get for say force. Because he's coming on and I know that's reasons why. Waiting are you your thought on the cyber law? I think say Mr. Zubairu Sef they get some problem. Yeah, so you take on the cyber law, please.
Well, to be frank, I'm not get them it. I just say again, but I'm not get them fully it. So I'm not going for go deep into it. But I could just talk on simple things that we may know say it may entail. then they try for say the first argument I will talk say person they scam people in a salon and they call in at their cell phone for do the official money, and then they do some criminal business for get the money from them. So then said that they try for stop. But now we look at how much crime then salon be able to stop cyberly. The cyber problem them without capability, without cyber capability in Sierra Leone. Which crime they're able to stop online? How many of them crime are able to stop? What the technology we get? We not get all the technology in there. So the point is that we're not able to stop much of what in the talk, but half of us are not able to. Even America, so they get most of the capability, not easy for them to stop, let alone continue the salon. We drink water, so we not get on cyber law. They can. So law will stop this. The entire thing is that they don't take away the 1965 Public Order Act. So what they don't do, then they can't find a sneaky way for put something in a way to replace them because not find out say they don't take that law, they pressure on social media and then them like I said earlier, they don't get anywhere how for control the social media right now. They don't get no clue how for come around. I mean, facing that too easy. They call they say, where as opposition, you facing that too easy until you go there. Where the haunted where the haunted become the haunted, they realize a different world day. So at the end of the day, then just try for look out for the sharp voice in social media. Someone like first people we look at someone like Adebayo. Okay, we know say Adebayo now. Maybe no me not to I subscribe to the message and all that, and not to part of them. But at the end of the day, now free speech. So now you will find out say if you don't cause somebody because one out if you're watching everything talking for protect himself, therefore protect people in our government. Well, let me ask this question now: how many years from when 1965 Public Order Act with people in our government, the arrest an ordinary citizen? Who lock up na CID or na Pademba Road beyond the days then because for misdemeanor for be 3 days, for felony for be 10 days. Somebody did it for them 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Then they can't find out the man not do the crime. Nobody compensate them, they let go. This what the world don't used to is you know that be you say small way boy in a soldier, then go arrest one person, then go lock and boy in a police, then go arrest and go lock you. We then can't find out this person an innocent person, just ordinary citizen, then take advantage of from. What's in the commodity? The government ever compensates nobody volunteer. So, but now where the shoes one can't fit now their own foot now. See, when now so they can't turn the similar thing to turn now. Oh, now they want laws enough for protect themselves. So to me, I want you to go to the minister. They come say what actually then they do and how they able make say how they put in place for protect we own rights for free speech at the same because this is a fundamental right. With free speech now one thing that we go push a country forward, not to honor for keystone. So if what you now put in place for make sure say you not violate me, right? But at the same time you protect me. Because the whole thing is if I will protect me, not to for protect una, but what me as citizen, how I will protect myself. If somebody like Lima can't say something to me, or somebody like President Bill say something to me, or President Nkrumah say something to me, how me say go answer back? Would I go protect me? You can possibly arrest me. How me say go fight back? What are the law we go say? Me say go sue you in a court and get something back. So law will say this they go.
You see, what's even problematic right now, as I hope say people, I hope say when they look at waiting the cyber crime, I go ask the CEO make it just the technical team make them just go back a little bit up for make I read that preamble of the Cyber Crime Act of 2020. I want for read that preamble there to people then. Thank you very much. I think so you don't go yes. So this is where I find problematic, okay? Make I read Antona. Being an act to provide for the prevention of the abusive use of computer system to provide for the timely and effective collection of electronics evidence for the purpose of investigation and prosecution of cyber crimes, to provide for the protection of critical national information infrastructure, to provide for facilitation of international cooperation in dealing with cybercrime matters, and to provide for other. Now, that they want to be very careful about. All within and all list so are within a very fine definition and parameters that they cannot abridge. Now, that word that you people should pay very close attention to, if you not post away the right now you page, If you're not a person where you they make statements now you page. If you're not a person where they participate, if you're not a person like me, where then a social media, they educate and they challenge and they propose, that is where in this particular junction, me get for really see waiting then at this act, tear them apart and make sure say the minister, because you see the Minister of Information is known to saying something in the public, saying something to Parliament, and then enact something different. It has happened. Then people then wait and sack. Now two different things go say na Parliament. Now two different interview igi. Then the application. Now two different things happen. And then not to than the normal. We don't also see them with the SALCAB issue, right? And I can go on and list. So when the minister they talk, I upset the panelists on Sunday. Please, my fellow presenters, please do your research. Please be thorough in the questions that way they ask them. Because here, this 9 are the catch-22 in that cyber law crime to provide for other related matters. That is an open-ended blanket application. Everybody, anybody do. Anybody apply. A law cannot be written like that. The preamble of a law cannot be written in that manner. That is why we have issues with our constitution. That is why we have issues applying our constitution. Because when you leave an open-ended, when you make an open-ended statement or an open-ended, space, it open for all sorts of interpretation. And it open for all sorts of application. I will go to Mr. Zubai who make it continue.
Ms. Matilda, thank you for reading that statement there, or the act itself, right? What does this don't tell we, yeah? Now, I'll give for example now. When you open your show, I'll tell you, say, Mr. Marabio and the administration has a personal vendetta against Creole Umandem. Mr. Marabio hates Creole Umandem. Mr. Marabio dislike Creole Umandem. He lock somebody like Sylvia Blyden in jail. Then beats we mayor, we 2 million people away in the governor Freetown. It gets the administration people and they talk for the woman. That it don't put the security for the woman. Not only that, now Langatelo Pierce, Marabio and the administration is trying to remove. So now, because I make that statement, they say he hates Creole Umandem, and if let's say Creole people and go, they go revolt and begin protest or they do something to that effect. It goes say Arun Zubairu, based on what he said, now VOS, now person will incite this violence against the government. So when I go to Sierra Leone, they go put that as an evidence and lock me up indefinitely. This is what they talk about. So the freedom of expression, we're not calling nobody name. They will hold that against me if this law comes to pass. Based on how the world is today, cybercrime now a war where we not go able win if we're not able to combat them. We see what's happened in the 90s where they called her Michelle. We send email to everybody where say I love you. As you open it, so you open a Pandora's box and people and their system begin go down. All the banks and all organizations begin shut down. We know about that. We need a cyber security. When we talk about Bitcoin today, yes, today we get a Western Union for send money across the world. But when Bitcoin come, you go down a village, we send money to you directly without no middleman like a Western Union, you get your money there. The world will become flat with the share. So we need security. That's understandable. Eventually, we only get to that part. But when they use them as a precursor for jail and shut people up like we get a problem. So they ask the people about parliament stuff. And they ask me on fight on this. Because we life is on this. We country, because the election they come, believe we're not able to talk. If this bill pass, we are done. And if they pass this bill, I will never talk about this anymore because I get a whole life in front of me for letting people are not against me or me people them. So me they say, I'm being open, me see how they laugh, but it's very true. I'm not gonna play that game. For now, make with the urge, with the nudge them. When I pay attention to this man, the other question, Mama. Now, this Swahili guy, when he put this bill, instead of a judge make a judgment, how many times Jennifer go? During the seditious life a lot of time, now 2 years now you go jail. This man now, Swahili, the bill he put, now 5 years now you go jail. And then they determine how many years you go, and which one you find. We get to pay attention to these people. These people, they are ready for do anything in their power.
Finish what I say now. Make I just finish what I say. Okay. The thing I talk now, these women, no, the mayor himself don't say, oh, my mayor says she's a politician. If you listen to in tape, you will find out the woman says they play young politics the other day. So now we know this not politics. This is not ordinary politics. It's not ordinary politics. Listen, I mean, we all. What I tell you is that the woman said talks. If you listen to audio, that like audio will tell you say himself. Now the council say I never made them even know what they do.
Okay, so CEO, hold on. I've been done say this right at the beginning of the show. If we are going to talk about that tape, I will only agree to a submission if you've listened to both tapes. If you have not listened to both tapes,
I just want to take a snippet part of what it talks. Say, Mr. Sisep, Mr. the tape for so. If you watch, it depends on who listen the tape. Even the one we're out right now. If you're in an APC, you go listen and say, "A one for making frustrated because the government want for Okuta." If you're in SAPP, you go listen and get this say in the tape for undermine the SAPP so that APC will come back in power. It depends on how you want to interpret the message. But now, let we talk about the cyber crime. I feel say what I don't get to more from just now, plenty thing the way we need. It makes sense. The only thing is that like that caveat we talk about, so that open space, anything can fit inside that box there. Now, I'm not saying we all panic right now. This is but law come back down. Not to the need for pass the law. Now Parliament for pass and not to the administration they pass the law. Then they take an pass to Parliament. Now we on job now for send to Parliament say, hey. This and this thing not clear. When I go back and make sure so when I
and this is why CEO then say precedents na a best predictor of things to come. We don't see outside Parliament time and time and again things them where we feel say them for team up, sit down and say no. At the end of the day, then go dabaro and so make and so then pass them.
But
so
Matilda,
because of that is why we cannot sit silent at this junction and expect Parliament to do the job.
Our job now is we know the people that are going for vote on this bill. Okay, so now me and you two job now for begin send message to the towers, to the KKYs, to the everybody knows in the Parliament. So we get the number and we send this bill to them so we underline this area. This is what we don't need on this bill. If we not vote, say we not to the administration. No, now una wanna vote for this bill because administration just the graph from. Now, una na Parliament can either fix them the way it's supposed to fix, or so if not follow the administration. Everything happen on that bill. If anything anything wrong with the way they add it follow Parliament because Parliament is able to rectify them problem in there. So now we job now for make sure we underline this and send them back to them and say, hey, if this bill can at Parliament, y'all need to make sure you rectify this area before you touch them because if we not vote on this one, now una would put this not to the administration time, now on our neck with the time because I vote for this and I take we right away from we and we make sure because I represent we. Now, una will put it for represent we. So we make sure say una make sure una take care of these points here. So I feel say we need to be strategic in a point, not be scared. Because I'm not scared, they don't scare them people. They work for we. Any other one for using because sometimes the reason why we not scare these people. The reason why because on the rate we say we don't know we right. We don't know what they do. Now we begin work strategically and make sure say we tackle Parliament right now. Whether be the kind of Parliament that's already a side for them we will debate them. Because you're not supposed to pass the law, you're not debate them. So long we say our Parliament will debate this law. That's up to we now for make sure say we put pressure on representatives to them and then make them watch this law.
Hey.
So now they look at matter.
Mr. CEO, I know say you get trust in them people. So don't take case in points now, so sir. Then get this airport where they want to go refurbished for $270 million. The Constitution say in order for that to happen, sir, the Parliament can approve before it comes to pass. Guess what's happening?
Yes.
Madam Yoko sign up, and then it can't talk to Parliament. Nobody not adhere to it. Nobody not say nothing. So if you get trusted with the law,
no, I object to that. I object to that. I object to that. There were members of parliament from the opposition who raised the alarm, who then questioned the method, then questioned the process. But again, they were silenced. They were not taken seriously. And basically, they were just bulldozed, trampled upon, and whatever was done was done. But
yes,
I know Sidon Ayaso, fully knowing that there were objections raised in parliament, and are not toxic.
Wait till they say, ma'am. Then you object, but guess what's in? Now the law. Now we check now, right? The Auditor General, this fine woman in Laratelo Pierce, when do it work diligently based on when the president and the finance minister not get enough money for that able to do a job. When all the ministries, agency, and departments are not able to give all the information where the woman they request for, but the woman still do diligence. Guess what? For 3 years now, the parliament not able to come together and say, let we go bit by bit and know exactly who side the money at the go, who side the fraud they go, who side the abuse they go, and also adhere or even try to amend or talk about the recommendation where this woman they give. For 3 years, they don't do it now. That's not come on. And this is constitution. This is not constitution that need for do everything.
Mr. Zubairu, that falls on all the citizens. Martin, you know what I mean? This falls on all the citizens because it's about time now. We need for everybody to know say that 5 corporations they give with 1 t-shirt and 10,000 leons. It's not the way to go. This is our job to sensitize our people that because these parliamentarians they get for come back at the constituencies. Then this is where you guys need to get town hall meetings as we do that overseas. We need for start for sensitize and say we need town hall meetings. When you guys come, let them explain to you what you need to do that parliament. Why make them pass? So we educated guys. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Mr.
Sorry.
I hope so you know this, right? SALONE are one of the poorest nations of the world. Then they about in the 10th poorest nation of the world. SALONE. So what does that mean? Some people almost 50% they get 1 meal or no meal for the entire day. Then get a by-election like Gambia recently, where we na NGC do everything for them people and they know that school and that's in a day. Can't they do all things? Mother build and go to another place there. They give money to each household. To each household. Remember this is Gambia. They win the by-election day. They win the by-election day. So what's what they say?
Yes, but the same people, no, but the same people, the same people
yes, but who do you blame in this situation? Do you blame the Madabio administration or do you blame the people? Do you blame the people? I understand say yes na poverty. I understand say yes poverty can drive people them to a certain degree. But what about integrity? You cannot be shouting on one mouth and on the other mouth you are doing something else. Do you blame? No. Make we call a spade a spade. Let us call a spade a spade. In this particular instance, who do you blame? Do you blame the Madabio administration? Do you blame the councillor running? Or do you blame the people?
Administration.
No, you blame the people. Because the people then are then show. No. The people fail to do their part. Their part was to vote for an honest person. Their part was to vote for somebody who would work for them. Their part wasn't for vote for somebody where they go give them one cup rest and then tomorrow they go back to the drinks.
It takes 60 years to make the program people in a certain way. It takes 60 years to make the program in that certain way, the way politics go. It got to take some time for law rewind them and teach them. It got to take some time. You're not going to change one thing. But law will not take the hope out because law will see AP for 30 or 40 years. The people in GRAP one day because of sensitization, because of what we do on social media, will certainly happen to APC. It can be done. So it's all about the people. They may get the information, get the information,
exactly.
And digest them.
That school day team up. Yes, the Pekin and they go to school. When they're sick, then go the hospital. But for tomorrow, when that vote they happen next tomorrow, that rest where they need for it tomorrow morning, for even go to line for make that vote, they not get them. So for that moment, now who that they give them that rest there for it, now they fool them. But we need to deprogram and reconstruct the mindset, and that is why we are here. That is why we are having this program to say, listen, this is just a distraction. Yes, then go give another 1 cup rest day. Yes, then go give another 10,000 or that 100,000 or that 50,000. But how long will that 50,000 last you? When you don't eat, you don't satisfy for that 1-2 day. What happens the 360 days in the year?
Money, they take the t-shirt, then put for that person back. Then do one. Then take the money and t-shirt. They can say them. APC say they take
where
some.
did the watermelon politics go inside? The watermelon politics inside because people were rallying. We saw t-shirts of people. We saw pictures of people. Where them in they go from one rally, they go collect t-shirts and money. The next day they wear the other t-shirt. They go collect things. It is called survival. Sometimes you cannot blame the people for devising a tactics of survival, but you can show them a different way. And this is the different way that we are trying to show them.
Okay, I'll answer you, right? So we get 2 million people in Afriton. With population of 7.5 million. So 5.5 million a day now offline. And the majority of them, what to me are you to talk to? They don't get access to them. Okay? Now think about this. So for medication, I just saw it just about 2 days ago. Access to medication. When the people and they die. Now only 16% of the 5.5 million people, only 16% able get access to simple drugs like malaria medication. So the rest of them not get them. But I can tell you today, you know what they vote for? If you don't know the South and the Southeast, then they vote for SLPP. Then they vote against their own interest. So what are they saying?
But listen, Kailan almost vote for APC. Inside Cambia is not. They vote for SLPP. So what I try to say is that it can be changed. The point is that Mr. Zubairu, the point is listen, they need foot on the ground. I mean foot on the ground. Plenty more they talk about, so they're not go until election time done here. If you don't exactly. Struggle, you don't would wait in the morning. You don't would say most of the not say the truth. Most of them politicians here now who talk now lip service and they go promise someone and they get nothing. When election time they go get and change and go. But if you don't send with thick and thin, you stand with them. I promise you, say they will change mind because they see you with them, then see you part of the EBRP. But most of them they just go no more election after election they don't left them. Enough. That's not go full forever.
Waiting I talk the other day. Waiting I talk the other day. There was a program when I say, first of all, no parliamentarian has any business living in Freetown. When a constituency na upline then they represent, then suppose for then that constituency they live within that constituency. We all know for say na yaso now only where Senate or Parliament they sit name the different councillors them and the representatives them kinkana tongue for councildom for parliamentary sitting. After that, follow they don't go back na the constituencies where then they represent because they have no business sitting in the city when not to the city then they represent. So that is the cultural shift. That is the shift that we need to start inculcating and we need to start demanding of our parliamentarians. But we term don't pass, but before I close the show, the mayor, I don't know whose audio una listen to, whether una listen to the leaked one, una listen to the leaked one and the full version, and then arrive at a conclusion. Was she wrong in saying what she said? If so, why? If so, why not?
Now, what are you go first?
Anyone on a Friday?
Okay, Mr. Ziba, go ahead.
Yeah. So they say that all in the entire audio, when this woman they talk to in party people them, then it makes what say Buabi said, because he used the Buabi said. Where the most tribalistic president we don't ever get.
Mr. Zubairu in internet the game wahala. See you make a go to you because of time. We're out of time, so you go ahead.
I'm not going to tell on this one. Listen, I go do one short. Okay.
You know, hold your thoughts. Just because this caller has been in the queue for so long, they deserve for make them call can to hold your thoughts. Caller, waiting at your name and USA you call from.
Yeah, una good evening, everybody on the platform. In a moment, call from Italy.
Okay, Mohammed, what do you get for we?
Yeah, I just want to say, una thank you for what you do and everything I do. Una really they speak for the voiceless. Now the sacrifice, but I believe say una family generation in the future, history will repeat itself. The law where they try for talk, we not go school, but it make no sense because we all see where, you know, about years ago, we see in Europe now where, you know, some people will go fair and live by all the see then SLPP there. And we see inside SALONE back how then they arrest people then. So I don't believe say even the man self go grab for allow their law they do. So then one. But one thing I don't really understand, we really depend on them because then they learn the book anyway. Why you go pass law? Sorry for saying that. It really make no sense to we because if you pass law at the end of the day, the way come on apart, you begin cry back. Because the law they are all now for hunt. We see how they arrest people and what they do in the country. So then they make no sense. The other thing again I want to talk about, I want to talk to CEO please at the bigger and at the actual superlunar if you wait they make them contribute because sometimes we want person talk sometimes, you know, via Sierra Leone, you know, not focus on that. How would they divide would they change them things they are like we demand they would already fail. You know, how would they bring women there on board? Now would they already say woman in a salary get party, whatever. So at the big you know, at the big the CEO, if you wait there, make them try for bring that woman on board, make them interview some things that they how would they empower woman there? You know, make them take the lead. They could begin preparing because the whole they see because at the same thing because at the end of the day, if you say people go na APC they can, but how would you try for bring woman in at the board? You know, low begin prepare there. Una we understand like CEO, the way he can talk, I know say that may God bless him, Mama we born now. Because the way he can do some video, the way they talk, the advice with the young people, you know, they talk conscious talk them. I know say get beaucoup things there inside him, but you talk out with respect, you know, no one pull all. So I they ask back with the beautiful lady in the platform, we gonna try if you wait there, how una they bring women more on board because I know say Sierra Leone abroad women the way really want for bring change in SALONE. So that we go see if we go able to organize, you know, woman party, something like that, you know. So that sometimes SALONE go save because you know go tell me say Sierra Leone inside the whole Africa, now we they cry for lighter water, which it make no sense. So I not get about putting for talk, I know so no out of time. But they are the big una in Sierra Leone, please una call if una know say this talk that makes sense. How will they try for help women there? We could put them at the forefront, we could prepare them. Because if you SLPP go, APC they come back. Even though me from where I born, APC yes, they thief, they do beaucoup thing. But they do small thing. Now the only party when me see they do something because I see road, I see something where you know happy for. But at the end of the day, they will still come back because they feel the country for 10 years. So they are the big one and Dani number one talk how una will think about Dani, una will try for crowd program there, you know, invite some woman there, even the one they within a salon, they receive particularly in a salon, a woman they lead, how for try, you know, for interview them, make we know what's in the gun, then how will they support them? And I know me they ask for. So may God bless you all and una stay blessed. Una they speak for people that will not get able to talk because most of you not go school. Maybe I be support SLPPO because the way they talk, I'm glad I say wow, new direction. You know everything will be well. Even though I don't be like through MPRC, I be know all what happen, but we get the chance, you know. But what in the go on now? Too much arrest and that law the way they want bring at the big now. Making that law did happen because. Law not they self they arrest people. Imagine if you not law they day. We not go school, but okay now example. Now the first day when me born from where I born, all man they afraid now for call for showing name. All man they afraid for explain side. Why that name for be? So they giving the SL people now. I look to you, letting them know fear. Now the first time this in my life from what about SALONE, all man they afraid, for showing name, for show sign come out. So but good thing the way people are able to talk, but I wish you all the best and may God bless you now. Stay blessed. So when I think about me, talk about the woman.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Yes, indeed. Me sure they come on late. Most of the time when me sure they come on, it on 12 o'clock or midnight salon time. I try for, change the show, sometimes for do special show, but a lot of people then get upset with me and say, Matilda, why they change the format of the show to accommodate the time difference? If we able to team up and wait for the show, as politicians, then say for be able to sacrifice and come now your platform, now the same way you did broadcast. So yeah, Madam Femi Claudius Cole, I will reach out to her. I will reach out to the Marcela Sambas of the world. Quite a number of them, they're out there. We will try as a network to get in contact with them and offer them, the platform for make them can talk and for make them give them contribution and give them thought. I can only reach out. At the end of the day, it is up to them to take the offer, right? So I know one thing we are not to do, I not to force anybody for considering on this platform. Anybody who I don't ever intervene on this platform, then they can willingly on them. Right? So definitely yes. I want to
Miss Claudia, you don't carry this platform before. Don't carry the platform before. We just open them. Can I make an Miss Zainab in contact us? Come, grant an interview. Do a whole show, and she doing great. So, just anytime we come to America, we'll have to reach out to him again and see if we go, because we at this point we know
America. Even if you not can America, we can still reach out. She may be willing to say, you know what? Yes, I'll stay up. Or I'll sleep and wake up. We don't interview people from SALONE. We don't sleep and wake up towards the show and do the show and do them beautifully.
I will not reach out to them. I will not reach out to them. We'll send a letter. Will come.
Yeah, exactly. So again, I close the phone line for today. Sorry, because time is fast spent. So I close the phone line for today. Make her go back to this idea of the mayor. Was she justified? If she was, why so? If not, why not? I will go back to Mr. Zubairu. Hopefully you internet step this time.
You able to quote exactly what he say for that audio day about Buabise?
So basically, I will give you the basic preamble of waiting in the talk. This is where she came from. Listening to the full audio. Instance now. Me are willing for work with anybody. As a matter of fact, when you come, I know they ask you whose party you belong to, whose are you there. Because if I begin down there, then they go create division, it go create segregation. Me, I they work with who that ready for work with me. It say waiting in go take, however. Now, where the regime they push people in throat and say by force that them people they are so if I work with and if I bring them people they are so kind. I say he no go do that. He said because waiting in get for prevent na your institution now an institution of a bua bise type situation. And what is she talking about? When you go you building now it's the force. Do you hear good morning? How are you? Do you hear welcome to the UE building? What floor are you looking for? What you hear is Dake. So yes, so this is what in my stance I'm like, yes, if you want to run a proper institution, if you want to run a publicly owned institution and a civil service, you cannot have a civil service where when you enter the civil service, you can't tell where you are. So if you do not speak a particular language, you become disoriented. So yes, she is the mayor of Freetown. She has rights over what happens in that vicinity. She has seen a pattern and she's saying, I am going to interrupt this pattern. I don't care who you are or what you do. For me, if you're willing to work with me, I'm also willing to work with you. But what I will not tolerate is the infiltration of a certain tribe, one tribe within an institution. You see, I'm not going to tolerate that. And I think she's right. If me being then in position, that would have been my stance as well.
And they get the temerity and the audacity and the mendacity for counsel we say this woman are a tribalist because he identified the real truth. They get the testicular fortitude for can't tell that woman they say in a tribalist. Who are the tribalist? No matter of you. All 80% of people I put in government now men demand them. All the one them where it purge. Now Timmy man them, now full of man them, now Quibi man them, now full of talk man them, now Creole man them. He remove them, he puts all the men to them. Because this woman make a statement. Now I make it a lost security today. We dear una come after that woman, they come after every Creole woman. It's not going to fly. And we will speak truth to power. They were wrong for to point finger on that woman day. But the woman, now a lady, he apologized because he wanted peace in her country. Martin Luther King said, judge people not by the content of their skin, but their character. Then, even Akisoya said, judge people based on their qualification, not by their tribe. And when I point finger upon them, bring that on. We're waiting. That's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, and to some people, and because I go on my page and I write a very lengthy remarks, and some people and they say, "Oh, Matilda, you are defending her because she's Creole." No, I'm not defending that shit because she's Creole. If you know me, when Yvonne Akisoya do wrong or when anybody do wrong, I call them out and say the person do wrong. But in an area where I feel say the person was justified in her stance, I'm not going to sit there and back down. I believe what she said. She meant what she said. I'm not going to go infiltrate an institution just solely because by a tribe. When you go to a public institution, when you enter a public institution, you want for no say a public institution you enter. You don't want to enter a public institution and feel disorientated and feel lost and feel left out. You don't want that. You want to feel included. You want to feel welcome. Like when they see you, when the first do it and they tell you now in a different native tongue other than you know, the lingual franca of the country or the administrative language of the country, official administrative language of the country, which is English. The city where me there, I mean, I don't go sit down, I go begin to go talk Creole or they go talk Quebecois. No, it's either I speak French or I speak English, and that's it. You know, I'm not gonna go begin to go talk Acadian. No. But anyways, I go left una make una wrap up. In answering to some of una be need for answer a little bit of the questions them of the caller because of time. I go give una say una final goodbye. Please.
Let me address the me and yon quick. I think say me want to look at the whole context now. In leadership, they say to whom much is given, much is expected. We get for look on different folds what happen. Because if we say we want to talk, we have to talk the truth. So we'll go into and deeply in the scatter so that tomorrow we will prevent them. Now we can look and say what is the official language for speaking language of them? And say, I don't think so we get official language. Most of the time, what you
we get an administrative language, which is English. Our administrative language is English, and in every public institution, that is the language expected to be spoken.
But the point is, now, when they talk on a job, see that's the point. Somebody talking in native language. Now, let we say, first of all, you know, say we can't Akisoya. Me now, I get high respect for her. In fact, it demonstrates leadership. Once you have a game, priority happen. Where me, I mean, physically, I'm supposed to apologize because if you offend some people before come up and you demonstrate how you do them, that don't show somebody with character and somebody with moral. Because Bokupe administration, politics will not salute and do wrong, they ever admit they do wrong. Now, if people then feel say what is say offensive to them as a leader, what you get for do? Apologize to them. It's not about you being right. It's about you do what people then want because you're a public servant to serve them. So for me, at that point, as you say, where people can come out and vex, say, no, what you say, you're offensive to them. As a leader, what you do, you know, become defensive. You come out to say, apologize, I'm sorry. That's what a leader do. So on that point, say, if you hold on now to that, you take them as a grudge, it's up to you. but in don't do
Exactly.
it illegal for do.
And that is that was my stance as well. And I think that be my stand as well. As in, you know what? You cannot appease anyone, everyone.
No, but
At some point you go aggrieve some people them. And if a certain segment of the population feel offended or aggrieved by your statements, the onus is upon you to apologize, which is done. So let us move on. But for continuously put this in aid and they call them a tribalist, are you kidding me? Have we seen tribalist comments before? And have these people come out and apologize for using such language? Come on now, make we be fair. All what they say is that make we be fair in we analysis, make we be fair in how we hold people.
But that's what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to say now is that you're not going to people and say you're not going to show people whatever vex for. Not be any politics fair in a salon. When you can't try to be politics, they're not out of proportion. So the only way you go do what you do, so you apologize, go to radio station, TV, say this is the context of what I'm saying here. Because plenty people like us say, plenty when I get the full audio. Now that dictated, I mean, the one we say the manipulate. Now we agree. So what you do as a leader, you go to the radio station or TV station, then talk about what's happened. You open a question.
She was actually.
Okay, so I believe we are asking question. That's
good morning or good afternoon. Salon or whatever they call it.
So when you find, because we now run away from the situation, you go sit down there, you answer the problem, you answer them, you make them know, say, listen, okay, maybe a poor choice of words. I apologize, move on. So me not feel say we need to dwell into that too much, but somebody want to take into political arena now. So now to me, I see I'm say, supposed to apologize, which you don't do. I give them kudos and let's move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's give an example. Hold on, mama. Let's give an example. And guess one boy, when the conference can follow with a man. He go, he catch a teacher them. He puts up on the neck. He can't go down that cut it. He puts it when it's saying that human rights abuse. They ask her for apologize. This man, the boy, President Kefala, he said, you know, they apologize. You know, they apologize for her. Now,
this is the one I'm man to do. This internet,
yeah.
Anything I make important.
I know the internet really the monarch, but I think this is where he was driving at. That at the end of the day, the person who apologized for him was the president. The president was the one who came out and made offered a public apology on behalf of Francis Ben Kelfala, and Francis Ben Kelfala said he will apologize. I see somebody in the thread. Salone first they say Tawa say he not go apologize, so he wrong for do that. No, Tawa is not wrong because that's what he believes. He believes he has not done anything that owes anyone an apology, and therefore is not going to apologize for anything because he is of the strong conviction that he has not done anything to owe anyone an apology.
But Tawa in difference, I can clarify for that person there. Tawa they fight against the status quo. So in peace, the status quo, they force them for they go humble to them. So now make it talk, say, they apologize. So in one stand against the status quo and no say go continue until we the citizens see what they fight for. This is different from the mayor in you. The mayor, them missing a poor choice of words to use, where offense for people and which we get for apologize for which you don't do. So to me, personally, I feel say that's not if you apologize, that's a whole different thing. You don't apologize, what else you need from her? That's it. I mean, you can only perception.
Salone, when you talk to your caucus member, no you caucus member, party member, no party member, where then can you host, then can you office, wherever on a meet, put basket, make all man even phone inside. Put basket, make all man even phone inside before then. And no, I am serious because you cannot trust anyone in that country right now. People are not getting into this habit of recording people unscrupulously and editing and tweaking people's words and whatnot. Put basket on all need for begin drop baskets na do. When then they come, I say pull the phone. As a matter of fact, if they need for search because a man gets 3 phone in that country. All 3 phone need for go balancam. When they exit, they can take their phone and go. But anyways, all jokes aside, I give on a final closing because the program don't stretch don't stretch past the allotted time. Okay, so Mr. Zubayo, you go.
I think they don't freeze again. Well, I just want to say if I'm say me. I just want to say, family, and thank you for waiting. Spend time with me tonight, and we'll try to come back Friday. We get a long way for go. We go for the bring different issues in. This now we are really in this together. So let me just continue for those to do. By God in power, Salone will change. Now you go for start with we individually. So thank you all. You have a nice weekend, blessed weekend, and may God make we all come meet you again next week. Thank you guys.
Indeed, may God come make we all meet you again next week. Mr. Zubai will still freeze. I think say he just don't come inside. Mr. Zubai, we did it.
Yes. So we also have to say now we apologize to people that we're not able to see what kind of young Kelaki always do. But stay tuned. We go just the magnification. We go do the kind of young clarification, and that one they mean that we go better get a better country, a good infrastructure, a good water system, and we go tell them that the truth and all man equal in the country. So with due time, when I stay tuned, if Matt can record another video tomorrow, because every week now, get for the being kind of young killer out there, but tell people that Tawa, it just talk now, can they begin in 2018, where they talk for the people, like whether or not the Auditor General report or the team, whether the team or the inept in this administration. Can they don't say them over and over, even these past 3 weeks, can they don't the full video the way they talk about every single thing. But they apologize to una. We want to vote, una have an open mind, and una can and see waiting can they even the timber where mother build and teeth can they you cannot talk about them. The deforestation can they you cannot talk about them. The traffic where they cause na between Kisi and Western can they you cannot talk about them. It talk about the money and they also the overspend when they overspend. Can the young killer have been talking about these things with due time? We will apologize. We will make sure so when I begin see what can the young killer don't talk. This same tower right now they investigate him now the ACC. Can the young killer never take anybody money? So we can prove to us say Kanda is better than Tawa, and we go show say we are much more patriotic than him. So with time we go tell the country about Kanda Yum Kela again and what he don't do for a country these past 3 years. Thank you very much, Mama.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the most important thing is not to pit good people or apparent or supposed good people against each other, but to get them to be ally and for them for work together. So absolutely in what we see right now, we see say Tawa don't demonstrate patriotism. To some extent as well, we see say Kanda Yunkela self don't demonstrate patriotism. So you want those two people to work together, but we don't want to pit them against each other. I think you want them to be allies and not to be, oppositions. I think that's where we need to go. When it comes to the Auditor General, Madam Lara, Taylor Pierce, I go left now with this word. It says that I will go read on the mission statement of the Auditor Service Sierra Leone. The mission statement of the Auditor Service Sierra Leone reads as follows: to be a model by proactively ensuring value for money for public funds through a highly competent, satisfied workforce of the keyword, I go left now with the keyword. We end that statement there. It say of integrity. Integrity. Integrity, integrity, integrity. Let us say that the Sierra Leone Constitution was to be amended today. If they remove the limited power where the Auditor General gets right now, the limited independence where the Auditor General gets right now, if any attempt is to be made to limit or reduce our current freedom and authority, then we country doom. What we want to see is an enhanced capability, an enhanced freedom and authority, just like where the president go ahead and enhance the powers of the ACC. I think that if he been really, really serious for fight corruption, him fully knowing that corruption fights back, one of the things then we if I don't do and for really push forward for make sure say the independence, the freedom of the Auditor General office is preserved and maintained. Another thing where I go get for say, even as we dey close, I want to remind the ACC boss say, now you interview, you say I don't collect 10 billion, not to 10 billion una collect, so some of you they keep count. Now 23 billion you don't collect. Make a member you do ya. So I don't know if na been this year one no more now you been the coach, you been misquote. So some of you they keep record. Not to be 10 billion no. Mr. ACC, so there beg, usai that squire how they call and 13 don't disappear na the calculation make it come back because some of we get an at the book with the count. I they put number on so back we get with calculator with the had. Right now na 23 billion, not to 10 billion. Dear beg, if na be mistake, you mistake talk, go correct and your next interview na 98.1 I beg they beg you. Now the other thing I want to talk about today, I want reach out to all of the Sierra Leoneans them for telling say una osho from Susan's Bay, our brothers and sisters una osh. This na the reason why make some of we sit down here they talk, some of we want for make there is a proper urban and city planning going on. We need for make sure say where people then buy the land, they put their access road them on and not go thief their access road them on a bill on top. Access road is important. If that fire brigade talk, if the access road not be non build, put the road. That fire brigade talk at least be for don't come, it be for don't help. And not think say all the landscape they be for being wiped down in less than 30 minutes. And also destruction not be for day, destruction be for day. But if the fire brigade talk be able get road for Pascal inside, the fire brigade talk come. But two side the Pascal road no day. Team block the road. So you know see, so the obsedient here so go able awaken we and make we realize waiting make some of we they talk and waiting make some of we can they advocate for the thing that they advocate for. We say sorry to the people that we lost them property, we lost all thing. It's devastating. It is tough, but we also hope say una go work with the displacement center, the mayor and all government authorities. I hope say them go work for rehabilitate them people here, so for give them shelter as quickly as possible and use this as an opportunity to properly design this place, to properly plan this place. It's very, very important. Do your urban and country and city planning, very, very important. Infrastructural planning, very, very important. Yes, this not a bad situation we meet with, but inside this bad situation, we can develop positive out of it. So let us make, even in the bad, let us make good out of it by making sure that whatever comes out of that location, it is of, the 21st century standards, and they abide by all of the rules and regulations. So from environment to infrastructure, construction, design, and modeling. If any Kotokude Usai people and they give money for help with brother and sister them, I go advise you make una go ibnada Kotokude. It's very important. These are our brothers and sisters no matter what. We are all Sierra Leonean. We want cry now, we all cry. We want for them now, we all for them. To the mayor, she's apologized. People, I don't know why you still riding her. I don't get why you are still riding her. People have said worse things. People have done worse things. Not that I am justifying, but I am saying the thing they want for jump and beat batapan, and not they jump and beat batapan. The one we not need bata for beats. Now the one and they want go beat gumbe bata enak pan. Okay, people, corona is real. Corona kills. It is still on. I know say they don't lift the curfew, but the question when we get for ask the president, I know for say the state of emergency died a natural death, but for process sake, you need for go back na parliament, and parliament need for declare say the emergency period done. That is their job. So parliament do your job. The emergency elapse and die a natural death, but just because a die a natural death no mean for say what is prescribed in paper should not be applied. Okay, so me people them we go there so for talk about different things them, and not forget What's in the show again? CEO review, SALONE, issues review. In another area.
Sorry, social media review.
Yes, so many people social media review on Sunday, don't forget, so that when I go come back for tackle the cyber law issue, and I go don't get a full insight from the minister your point of view, and then from waiting with they read and understand for can talk but an I so not forget Sunday afternoon, I believe it's 3 p.m. Fadima show. Fadima Savage and Mr. Shilon, lawyer Mohammed Shilon, then show the Minister of Communication and Information, Rado Soare, will be there. And one of the core issues that will be talked about is the cyber law. Okay, una not forget that cyber rido and other related matters. Dande, na de di Bongosoro day. That is where we need to sit. And that is where we need to expound on, okay? May God bless we all. Next week, by God in power, we go begin get the 60 years in existence, 60 years of independence. Where are we at? Are we where should we be at? Are we where we are supposed to be? That series will start. May God bless we all. May God cover we all. We to defend this world. May God give you until we meet again. Thank you very much and have a blessed weekend and a blessed week. Una tata.